taking full control. From the link to the X, from the sixes to the fields. One voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire. Lost the whole game back in 86, never retired. Heroes crown him, yeah, they call him the king. Fur coat flashing, bling bling in every ring. He's the hardest working, great talking dog. Call in with your tape, but don't get it wrong. He'll call you a nitwit if you're acting a fool, but deep down you love it. That's the Eskin rule. Riding with the king, yeah, we're riding with the king. Howard Eskin show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin show. Let's go get sight. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.
And welcome and happy anniversary to me and to everybody that's been part of this show as you're riding with the king. This is our 1-year anniversary show, and there's breaking news. And there really is breaking news all over the place. And we'll get to that. We have another great guest tonight. I mean, there's so much breaking news. There's Eagles breaking news. There's Sixers breaking news. There's a Super Bowl this week, which I don't know that people care about. And then there was that nonsense that they had last night, that flag football joke. But we'll get into all that. But I want to first thank our presenting sponsor. And I always have good partners. And Jeff Stillwell Financial Advisor, is a terrific sponsor. He's been with us for quite a while now. And he's a part of you. He's a part of me. And he can help you. And he can help a lot of people with any wealth in your investment for the future as things get crazier and crazier with what's going on financially. Jeff Stillwell with Stillwell Financial Advisors can help you. Give him a call, 732-343-0813. That's 732-343-0813, Stillwell Financial Advisors. I mean, there is so much going on tonight, so much. And another great guest, John Calipari. He's now the Arkansas coach. This is his second year at Arkansas. Legendary coach, Hall of Fame coach, all those kind of things. And we'll get to John very shortly, and we'll get to the change. The Eagles lost a coach today, and there's a question about another coach that didn't come here. I'll get into all that. Announce our prize pack from the last show, for our 100th show, and this our 1-year anniversary show. We got coach on coach crime, the worst question at the Super Bowl. I don't even know if it's a big Sixers trade, but it's a Sixers trade. But before we get to John Calipari, let me talk about our other great partners. And one of those is Thomas Chevrolet. I've heard some good things about things with good things, service reports and consumer reports on Chevrolet. But Thomas Chevrolet, located at 1263 West Baltimore Pike and Media, family-owned business. You'll know that as soon as you walk in. They're friendly. There's something different about when the family's there and they're there 24/7, and they're celebrating their 38 years in the business. Good people, provide straight deals, no hassle, no haggle. You can get up to $14,000 savings available. Also, 0% APR for up to 60 months, all kinds of things, whether it's the Corvette, whether it's the Equinox, and I'm driving the Equinox, and great consumer reports on all their cars, but especially the Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, Tahoe. And speaking of Corvettes, Thomas Chevrolet is a certified Corvette specialist dealer. Now, one of the things that they have that I don't think other dealers get involved with other manufacturers, but their service department, I met a bunch of those guys, and I've told you this, really good guys. Their service department will do service on all makes and models, all makes and models, which is not typical. So if it's convenient for you, just go on in there. Tops in the tri-state area, Thomas Chevrolet has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. 1263 Baltimore Pike in Media. Here's the number, 610-566-8600, or check them out on the internet, thomaschevy.com. And you're getting close to spring. I know it's cold in the air in the Philadelphia area, but check out the amazing designs created by Piazza Property Pros. That's what they do. They can kind of let you see what it'll look like. Their dream team can turn your vision into a reality. At your backyard, you can kind of enhance that, whether it's a pool or there's other things you need to have done. Start here, and now is the time to start planning for the summer. Piazza Property Pros brings the experts directly to you. 25 years of experience. That's important. They don't subcontract. That's important. Top-notch craftsmanship. That's important. Whether it's landscaping, whether it's fencing, whether it's pool maintenance, you can trust Piazza Property Pros. Give them a call. 610-566-2608. That's 610-566-2608. Call them tomorrow. I mean, obviously, I don't know that you want to call them as we're on live, but call them any day. Call them anytime. 610-566-2608. 26. Let me repeat that number. 610-566-2608. Or check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. You know what? I always try to have great guests, but I always try to have special guests. And we have another one on the show tonight. And that would be, and I'm going to, the accolades are just, it would take me an hour to start running down the accolades, but I'm going to run down some of them. Let me welcome Arkansas head basketball coach, John Calipari. John, welcome to the program. I'm telling you, I'm looking at all your accolades, and it's just, okay, got a national championship, 15 years at Kentucky, where you went to 6 Final Fours. You have close to 900 wins. You're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. You're a 3-time Coach of the Year. I just, is there anything else you can accomplish? First of all, welcome. Is there anything else you can?
Well,
another national championship.
Let me give you this. Jim Gray, he and I are friends, but we're getting to ready to play in the Final Four. We get beat, and he said, "Do you know you're the best coach that has never won?" Right? He tells me that. Next year we win it. He said, "You may be the worst coach that ever won one." I mean, you can't win in this. If you call a timeout, you shouldn't have. If you do call a timeout, why'd he do that? I mean, look, all I'm about is trying to help these kids. I told him today, we practice, we're going twice today, but we practice, and I said, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at me. How did I let us get to where we were to where we are right now? So as long as I stay focused on that, I can have fun doing this, and you and I can still laugh at each other. I knew you when you had holes in your shoes.
Well, here's what's amazing. Besides, the many wins that you have, and obviously most of them in college basketball. Besides all those wins, you made it to what, 3 or 4 Final Fours without winning the national championship. And then people, I guess, are pissed off at you because you don't win the national championship when you get to the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, just getting to the Final Four is a challenge.
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's like ridiculous. We had a couple that we lost. I look at it and said we could have won 3, but you know what? Winning a national title with that team, I can still remember Anthony Davis walking in saying, I can't make a shot at halftime. You guys score, I'm going to block shots and rebound, which is what he did. He was 1 for 10 from the floor and won the most outstanding player because he blocked shots, he rebounded, he played for his team. Duran Lamb had 22. Michael Kidd did his thing. Darius did his. I mean, the whole team did their thing. And we won where they really became a great team. And, but I've had other really good teams. I mean, really good teams. Had 3 teams win 38 games. So, I've been blessed. Parents have entrusted me with their child.
You know what's interesting? You've coached, not counting, I think it was 1 year as an assistant coach with the Sixers, 37 years total. 3 of those years with I believe, with the Nets. And college is different than the pros. What is different about coaching college players? And you get a turnover, which changes a lot of times good. It's too much change now, and we're going to get into that. But what is the difference between the pros and the college kids?
The biggest thing when you're in college, you're here to do everything you can to help the kids get where they're supposed to go. You can counsel them aggressively. You can get them in individual meetings. You can throw them out of practices. You can sit them out games to get them to do the right thing. In the NBA, if you encounter that kind of player, you start him, you get him a lot of shots, you promote him in the media, and then you trade them. I mean, that's a big difference in what you're doing. I mean, it's more in college, I've got a responsibility to a lot of young people. And the reality of it is, I'd like to help 20 to 25 more families before I'm done. We today with Jamal Murray making the All-Star game, that means I've had 13 All-Stars. 13. I don't know how many All-Star games they all played in, probably 25, but 13. Had two MVPs in the NBA, have player of the year or in college, but in the NBA, all those kids, defensive player of the year, rookie, they preparing them. And everybody could say, well, they were there before you got them. They were, well, then why aren't all the kids making it? I didn't always have the best kids.
Right.
So it's, if we could stay locked into helping young people and not surrendering, in other words, holding them accountable and sometimes being aggressive about it and telling them, if you don't change, I'm not playing you, or you can't be here. We can't be what we need to be with you here. And usually, you don't have to walk them to the cliff and let go of the hand and they jump into the abyss. Normally, they'll figure it out. And in the end, it all, we have to win for them to really do what they're supposed
Right.
to do. So it's a combination of doing that and winning ball games.
How do you still have fun coaching? And you're animated, you're excited, but it looks like when you do your press conferences, when you do all those things and you're working with the kids, it looks like you're really still having fun. How do you keep yourself to have fun coaching players in basketball?
If you can stay focused on them and their growth, and you take great satisfaction in that, you can still do this. If every game is winning is and losing is dying, if you look, you can't be in this long.
Hmm.
And so for me, look, we just lost a tough game to Kentucky. Like I tried to tell my team, and I told them today, it was a loss to me, not losing to Kentucky. It was, we lost the game. And
Right.
when I watched the tape, we had our chances to win the game and we didn't do it. We did stuff, we lost our cool, we did things at the end, and they took the game from us. We didn't give it to them. They just said, we're not losing. You move on. Like, yeah, I suffer for a day and now I move on. And we're going twice today, which is Tuesday, twice on Wednesday, and maybe twice on Thursday to say, look, we got to get some things right defensively. My teams, how defensively have always been
Yep.
really good. This team should be way better than we are defensively. And rebounding the ball, we got guys, athletes, they're long. Come on now. I mean, we're doing things we have to do better, and that's on me. And normally, like I said today, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm mad at me. How did I let this get to this?
The memory that you have the national championship and put up the picture. I mean, you could see the excitement of when you won the national championship in 2012 with the University of Kentucky. I mean, your players are excited, you're excited, everybody's excited. But the thing is, and you had such great success at Kentucky. when I talked to John Harbaugh last week, he said he realizes, and every coach has an expiration date. Did you realize it was time and your expiration date was there at Kentucky to move on to Arkansas?
You know what kept me at Kentucky as long as I stayed was if I left a group of players. It got easier when I left that they could all leave. And I didn't feel the sense of I can't leave a player here. I had chances when I had Derrick Rose and those guys that I could have left Memphis. I didn't leave because I couldn't leave Chris Douglas and Antonio Anderson and Robert and Joey. I couldn't leave those guys there.
Mm-hmm.
I had opportunities 5 years before I left to leave Kentucky. But it all came back to, you know what? If I do that, I'm leaving these kids who came here to play for us. But now, when you leave, they leave. I stay. How about this? They can leave. I mean, it's a totally different thing. And you know what? It was time. Um, a great thing that happened for me was going to Kentucky. Just as great was coming to Arkansas when it
Right.
happened and me able to get back into what I do and not deal with all the other stuff. And it's not fans. John told you, if you're worried about the fans, you're going to be sitting up there with them. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're mad. We could have come back and won a national title, they'd have been all happy. It's not about that. In-house does matter. Do you have the support you need?
Right.
Is everybody on the same page that you're on to what needs to be done? At Kentucky, they needed a new voice that people would listen to because it is one of those jobs that, boy, I tell you what, you got to have everything in order to do well.
You had Tyrese Maxey for how many years at Kentucky? How many years
One.
did you? 1 year. Could you? I mean, he's turned into a better shooter than he was when he came into the NBA. And I knew you preached how good he was going to be, and you knew he was going to be a player. How do you know a player? First of all, I think he's the best player on the team, on the Sixers right now. He's the best player. He's better than Joel Embiid because he plays for his teammates all the time. He plays hard all the time. And he listens to the coach. Now in college, that's one thing, but in the pros, once you become big time, then all of a sudden, I don't know that you listen to the coach. But what was it about him that you knew he was going to be a really good player?
Do you remember at the end of that year what happened? We could have won a national title that year.
Right.
At the end of that year, we won the league by 3 games. The COVID shut down our year. So he didn't really get a chance to get in a tournament. And that's why I said to everybody, are you people crazy? You're going to regret. How many people passed on him? 19?
It was, yeah, I think he was 20 or 21 in the draft, right?
Well, and wait a minute. And his teammate, Emmanuel Quickly, went one after him. And I'm like, those two are going to be really good and have long careers. And they're both unbelievable people. Let me give you this real quick. I go to Philly. I'm going to go to a game. And I'm walking downtown and I get stopped 3 times about Maxey. We love your kid. We love him. I go to the arena. A guy with the Philadelphia sticker on that works for the 76ers in some capacity, maybe in the back, but love your kid. And I'm getting a sandwich in the I love your kid. What, hold on, why would you say that? Every time he sees me, he says hello. And I'm not anybody here, but he makes me feel good. And I love him. That's why you want him, Shea. You want those guys to be the face of the NBA. You want young people to watch them and say, wait a minute, they make 50 million a year and they care about me. Shea signs autographs before every game. He doesn't talk like that. He doesn't do that stuff. He goes up to these kids and hugs them and takes pictures before the game, including the World Championship games. So you could tell that they have something extra, but to break through, means the courage and the self-confidence, the self-esteem they have is off the charts. And Tyrese is one of those, has never changed. And I did ask him for his all-star jersey because I want to put it up before he was picked to be in the be a starter. But I knew, I said, come on, you're averaging 40 a game. What are you talking about? But anyway.
Yeah. All right, John, I hope you can hear this. I don't know if you can hear it. It's from one of your news conferences. And this is a big issue in college. And it seems that you're probably the most outspoken about so many issues going on. Let me play a soundbite of yours from one of your news conferences about the problems now with the NIL and transfer portal and all this other nonsense. Let's play this.
Real simple. The rules bees the rules. So if you put your name in the draft, I don't care if you're from Russia and you stay in the draft, you can't play college basketball. Well, that's only for American kids. What? If your name is in that draft and you got drafted, you can't play because
That's the problem. You talked about the Russian kids. I don't know if you heard that, but that's just one of the problems. Let's just start at when this thing started and the biggest problems you see with NIL and transfer portals and all the things that are going on now in college sports.
5 years ago, I said, this is going to blow up in our face when you do transfers and NIL because you're going to have tampering. You're going to have now bidding wars. You're going to have extortion of coaches. I said, it's going to be a mess. I come back to, you should be able to look, I don't care the kids make money. That's fine with me. But for them to be able to transfer 4 times in 4 years or play in 7 programs or be 30 years old and still playing, what are we doing? So if a young man wants to transfer, he can transfer and not sit out one time. His coach leaves. They can all transfer. Mm-hmm. But other than that, after that, you got to sit out. You know why? Because you can get a college degree. You build value to where you are. You have people that are going to care about you when you're done. As far as being 30 years old and still playing, what? All right.
In college.
You have a 17-year-old son. He's worked his butt off to get a scholarship. You know what? You don't have many scholarships now. What is everybody waiting for? The 26-year-old that has 2 kids, he has a beard, he's on his second wife. But you know what? He's a pretty good player and he can help us. So now, instead of giving that freshman a scholarship, you're waiting. We're going to be scouting at the NBA Summer League. We won't go to these high school events. Why? We'll go to the Summer League and see who's not going to make it. Second thing, why would a kid be able to transfer mid-season and play right away? What? He's not in school yet, and you're having him play. Here's my thing about it. That should be an easy rule. You cannot transfer mid-season. You can, but you got to sit out the rest of the year and play next year for the whole year. But if you do, I don't know how I would explain that to the players that I'm coaching, that this guy's going to take. I know you practiced all summer, you worked. I told you this, I told you that, but this kid is going to come in and take your minutes and take your shine and take your opportunity. How am I ever going to recruit? Even transfers. How am I going to get transfers? How am I going to get freshmen if they think at midseason this guy will go get somebody? Aside from, it shouldn't be done anyway. It shouldn't be done. But I'm going to say this. I don't begrudge any coach doing something that there's no rule that says you can't do it. So if you're telling me you can do all this, I don't blame the coaches.
Why can't the NCAA just say, once you played in college, now you left for the NBA or the pros, wherever, professional basketball. I know you're getting paid, but let's just use the NBA as an example. And then all of a sudden in 2 or 3 years, You can't play, they don't want you anymore. Somebody else comes in. And then he wants to go back to college because he might have 2 years of eligibility. Why can't the NCAA say, no, we're not going to do that?
Because they, in their infinite wisdom, always said this term: every case is different, so that they could selectively enforce and do all their stuff. And you'd say, wait a minute, that case and this case are exactly the same. Not every case is different. So they went in and they let the quarterback from Vandy play. They let the kid from a G League player go to a school out west. They let this happen. And then they go in a court of law. There is precedent. You go and tell them, well, every case is different. The judge is going to say, no, there's precedent. And what you did with this case, that case, and this case, why is this kid not able to play? That's why we are here. That's why we are here. Now, you try to say we're going to stand up now. The judge says, wait a minute. What makes this kid different than this kid? Precedent. I've been there where they're, wait a minute, why are you doing this? But what about this and this? Well, every case is different. So now they got to live by precedent.
Okay, so now you recruit, or you recruit and you try to get a player. How do you build a team when players can leave every year because somebody else? Now, there's conferences that have a lot more money than other conferences. The mid-majors, it's a shame. If you were at UMass now, how does
Couldn't do
UMass?
it.
No,
Couldn't
can't
do
compete. Can't compete.
Nope.
Can't compete.
No,
So
I couldn't do it. I tell Frank Martin all the time, man, I so respect what he's done there because I know there's no way in this environment. I'm not even sure I could have done it at Memphis in this environment. If you remember, we were in the national championship game.
Yep.
Won 38 games. I had a heck of a team. I couldn't have kept that team together. There's no way. So you have Derrick Rose and you have Chris Douglas, you have Antonio, you have Robert, you have Joey. If they all had a chance to go make more money, they would have. And I wouldn't have blamed them.
So with the transfer portal, clear me up on this. There's a transfer portal, I think, in January, right? Is that when the transfer portal? I know that's the way it is for football. Is it the same? What's the transfer portal?
Well, let me stop you here there. Football and basketball should have separate rules. We're not the same. We go over 2 semesters. They have no
Okay.
problem if a kid comes midseason. They're like, that's fine. What they want doesn't necessarily touch what we need. And what we need, some of it they don't really care about. So football should be their own entity. Basketball should be its own entity with its own rules. Our thing is at the end of the year, every kid is a free agent. Could you imagine in the NBA having that? Every
No.
year, a kid is a free agent. And if a kid comes to me, if he puts his name in the transfer portal, he's not coming back because I'm not going to be extorted. I'm going to tell you this is what we want to do. Now, we take care of our kids, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you're going to make 3 times what one of my I don't know how you have a locker room. And if you do, you're better than me because you won't believe this. The kids do talk. You talk about what they're getting. I mean,
Yeah.
they do. I mean, it is what it is.
Andrew Brandt, who consults for Louisville football, he's a football guy. And he told me a story when he was on one of his, because you had 2 transfer portals. So
That's for football.
for football, right? For football, yeah. I think there's only one now for both, but whatever. So a player came back. They made him an offer. Came back and said, "I'm going to get a couple $100,000 more from." He didn't tell me the school, from another school, and he said, "You know what? Just go." You can't go back and forth and play that little game with these guys. But it's how much in 5 years, and hopefully you're still coaching. Hopefully you still enjoy it, whether you're still coaching or not. Hopefully you still enjoy it. In 5 years, where do you think college sports is?
If we don't, if Congress doesn't get involved, then they got a lot of other things. We
Yeah,
tried
they
to
do.
get Congress to swallow the ocean instead of dealing with the transfer portal and eligibility. That, if we got that fixed, 75% of our issues. But the NCAA wanted a safe harbor. We can't be sued. No one's going to do that for them. They don't trust them.
Right.
So now we're in this position. So now it becomes, do the leagues come together and say, we're separating from the NCAA, we're going to form our own stuff, and we're going to have collective bargaining? Do they have to be employees? No. Now you collect the bargain with the players, you get everybody in the room, you create new rules, and you start all over. Or you go football, do your own thing, basketball does their own thing, and we now create rules, but you collect a bargain. I can't see it. I've been saying it for a while. You're going to end up having to collect a bargain in some capacity so that there is rules. Right now, they're saying, well, we're going to, if you try to put name, image, and likeness endorsement money out there and we don't agree with you, we're going to say it's not, that ain't legitimate and it's way too much. When's the first lawsuit hit? Okay, when does that come? So I'm like, I don't know where, if this is this way for 3 more years,
Okay.
I don't know what this will look like, but it will not be college athletics. We need to do something now. And that means deal with the transfer portal and the eligibility so that we don't have 30-year-olds taking away 17-year-old scholarships. That's their opportunity at the American dream.
Right.
And if you want to be a pro, be a pro. Go to the NBA, go to Europe, go to the G League. It doesn't matter. You're 30 years old. Be a pro. Don't come back to college. And we are here because of some of the waivers that happened, that we should have fought to the Supreme Court to say we can't have this and care about academics, care about these kids. You think about a kid that's been to 4 schools in 4 years. 4 schools. Does he have a chance for a degree? No. Does the last school and state and alums look at him like a mercenary? Yeah. They don't have any responsibility. We paid you, you did it. It's all then transactional. What I've been able to be a part of is transformational for families, for young people. Well, if it becomes transactional, then Howard, I won't do this. But right now, I'm still being able to move kids and get them to do the right stuff, and I'm loving it.
When you walk into a family's home, you used to go in and you would sell them on the school, the program, you as a head coach and your credibility. Now, do you have to take a negotiator with you to try to negotiate a number if somebody wants to come to
No,
Arkansas?
if that's all it's about, then I won't recruit the kid. But I do know that's a part of it. And when I'm in that home and see the family and they deserve that. If we would have cured the O'Bannon case, this would have never come to. But we fought the O'Bannon case, the ruling from that judge, and we're all here now. So when I walk in, my thing is results. What are you looking for? Well, I want to be a pro. Well, I want to be an all-star. Well, I want to have a long career. All right, well then go to a program and a head coach that's done it. Doesn't have to be me. But you're going to go for 100,000. Don't trip over nickels trying to get to 200 million. We have right now in the NBA, the players that I've coached have made nearly $6 billion. That's not endorsements. That's not the kids that played in Europe. That's contracts in the NBA that are all guaranteed stuff. I told you, 13 All-Stars, MVPs, all the stuff. The average length of a career for my guys is over 8. The average career in the NBA is 4 and some change. And so you want a long career, you want to be in the NBA, okay, who has done what you want? And then if it all becomes money, that the talk was cheap, and it wasn't about that. It was solely about 100,000 more or 200,000 more. And I say, one, playing for me is not easy. The guys that have played for me know I'm direct. I'm going to tell you the truth. I keep it real. They all say, I want you to keep it real. until I keep it real with them. Then they said, well, just keep it real with him, not me. And so, and then the challenge of knowing winning matters. If we win, I've had 6 guys drafted 2 different times from one team, twice. Well, they won 38 games. So y'all want to get drafted? Let's win. And we all get drafted.
You know what? You made a point, and I think I heard you say this, and players don't realize it. You got to learn, you got to get better. Only 1% of college players become NBA players. Am I right with that? That 99% of the college players don't make the pros. Is that an accurate number?
You're talking overall. In
Right.
our case, like 70% of my kids get drafted, and 75%
Yeah, I'm not talking about
get
specifically
so
Arkansas.
so
Right.
let me recruit. So 75% get the second contracts, which means that's how it's $6 billion. So not every program, but overall, yeah, it's 1%. So now you got no college degree, you have no loyalty from the fans, the alums, because you transferred 4 or 5 times. You go to pros and you come back to do one thing. I just want to make that money, and I'm taking it out of the pockets of the
Right.
17, 18, and 19-year-olds. So, yeah, but it is that. And I like to say, unless you play for me.
You know, it's just, do you lose players coming out of, I know an agent who represents high school players. They're not allowed to get paid in high school, right? But he represents them, I guess, to find the best spot.
Yeah, well, we don't have any rules, so I don't know. So here's what I would tell you, that if it's solely about money, like we're gonna do our part, but there are schools that'll be able to pay more. Let me tell you why. When you're in the SEC, most of the rev share money in every program, except maybe one, is going to football. And then basketball gets a smaller pool. Well, guess what? There may be 3 leagues, maybe 4 leagues. They make more money with their basketball rev share than we. So they're going to be able to pay more. And it's just how it is. And so we got to get the right guys. We got 2 freshmen that are starting. We signed 2. We hope to get another 1 or 2 more for next year. I'm not changing, Howard. I am recruiting freshmen. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have guys come back, or maybe get a transfer big guy or a shooting guard, somebody that could help us. But I'm not just recruiting transfers. I'm not going to do it because look, the joy I get is to see kids grow, boom, go on, sit at the draft table with them, watch them get drafted, know their life has changed forever. Their family's life has changed forever. That moves me. That keeps me going.
You know, the SEC in football probably pays more money. See, I think that ought to be exposed too. How much money is the SEC paying total their players compared to others? And you're going to see a difference, not in the 5 major conferences, but, you know, obviously the mid majors. But how difficult is it? And I'm sure you got big backers, and probably one of the reasons you went to Arkansas is you knew that you get that kind of support, and they're going to be able to take care of players. But how difficult is it to compete, not just to get a player in the SEC, but to get a player that's going to get his, you know, really it comes down to, in some cases, get his money?
Yeah. We're fine in that. And when you talk about football getting more, let me tell you, this football league, the SEC, their TV ratings are higher than NFL ratings.
Yeah.
So guess what? These kids should be paid. If everybody's watching and they're making money, they should be. Now, in basketball, the last few years, when I first stepped in the SEC, there were 3 teams making it. I mean, I remember begging for 5 teams, 6 teams. And now last year we get 14 basketball teams in.
Yep.
And a bunch of us got to at least the Sweet 16. So now, you know, the Big Ten's really good. The ACC's been really good and still good, and us, and you know, the whole format has changed. But there are some leagues that have more money but not enough to sway a young person that wants to come here. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He
Yep.
really wants to come here. We have the ability. We're just not, I'm not going to go overboard.
What is it about Arkansas? Obviously, you had chances to go multiple places once you left Kentucky. What is it about Arkansas and Arkansas basketball? And obviously, you want the big prize at some point that kind of pushed you towards Arkansas? Because I'm sure the money would have been similar at other places. What was it about Arkansas?
Because they had won here. Coach Richardson won a national title. They had been to Final Fours. Eddie Sutton had won here. The support, uh, not only in the state, in the Northwest, this little corner postage stamp is like it could be its own state. But the support on the campus felt really comfortable with Hunter Yurachek, the AD. The building, seats 20,000. I mean, all that we need. And I was still in the SEC. So I knew basically what the league was. The only problem when I left, the league became the best it's ever been. And we started last year 0-5 in the league. And
Wow.
everybody, they shut the coffin. They just didn't shove the nails in there. So we were able to kick our way out and go to a Sweet 16. And then we get up 18 and we end up losing that game. I thought we were playing well enough. I thought we were going to win a national title. And so it's crazy. But no, I'm really happy here. On my wall, my saying always, coach your team. I don't deal with any of the other stuff. You know what the other one is? Be at peace. I am at peace with what I did, why I did it. And being able to say on my terms, look, I'm doing this, and being, trying to take the high road, not trying to hurt anybody. Look, I had a great run. Now I want to have a great run here. And I want to do some of the stuff that we did at Kentucky. Let's just keep carrying it. Look, I believe culture travels. I do. Now, it takes time, and
Right.
sometimes you got to recruit the right ones to establish it, cement it. But how we do things, I think culture does travel.
In college football, they're talking about adding more teams to the playoffs. You're at what, 68 now in basketball? 68. Uh, and there's always talk about more because and then there's more TV money. Do you think the number is right, or do you think there should be more teams to let other teams compete at the end of the season in a tournament?
Look, where this all may go, the league may come together and they do something, and all the teams in those leagues that are in this would go.
Right.
But right now, the NCAA tournament ain't broke. Why would you try to fix it? Yeah, I mean it is what it is. And so, it's one of the events, and it's a one game shot. Well, you should never lose. Okay, every guy I know that coached this sport lost the first round game. It's just how, because it's one game. That's how this is. But it brings excitement. It has the teams that shouldn't win advancing some. I mean, St. Peter's went to a Sweet 16 and had a chance to go to an Elite Eight.
Yeah.
St. Peter's. I
I
mean,
know.
but I'll be honest. Now with NIL being, wait, I think it'll be harder and harder for those teams to do that.
Okay. I saw where your father just had a birthday. Is that correct?
93.
93. You got a lot of time coaching there, brother. You're gonna be coaching for a long
Hey,
time if
but
it's genes.
you and I haven't worked a day in our lives. Let's be real. Okay. I know you haven't. And I've been a coach my whole life. So I've never worked. My dad was a baggage handler in his 70s, slinging bags. I mean, this guy, and I wrote it. He was a gatherer. He was a relationship guy. When I went to work with him when I was young, one of the guys didn't sling bags. He cooked. So the Polish guy did the pigs in a blanket. The Italian guy did the sausage and this. And so that guy cooked so that everybody after their shifts would come in and eat. Johnny Obusick cut hair. So he took the day off and cut all the kids' hair, all the guys. And I think he was tipping it a little bit. And I'm like, get him away from me. But my dad physically is good because, he's always cutting grass, doing stuff. And then
Yeah.
mentally, he's better than I am. I mean, he remembers stuff, and I go, "You're wrong," and we make a call. Like, we'll call so and so. They'll say, "No, he's right. It was." I said, "How the heck you're 93? How you remembering this stuff?"
How did you become a basketball coach? And I know you played college basketball. How did you become a basketball coach when your father really was not involved in that part of
My
life?
sisters and I, the first college graduates, but when I was in high school,
Hmm.
we lived in that bedroom community in Moon Township. The people that all of us looked up to
Uh-huh.
were the teachers and the coaches. So I wanted to be a teacher and a coach since I can remember. And then when I was at school, Skip Tatala was basketball, Bill Sacco was basketball, Ray Bazzetti was baseball. You had Mark Capuana, Jim Bonney, they were football. So I thought, shoot, I guess Italians coach. Everybody was Italian and they were all the coaches. And so, I just grew up saying, I looked up to my high school coach, John Miller, who's Sean and Archie now, they're coaches. Joe Miller, they were all coaches, and we looked up to them, and they were like, now, I didn't know I'd be a college coach until I went to
Right.
college, and I said, hey, maybe I'll do that. And then I did that, and I did the MBA, and then they fired me, so I went back to college, and it's just kind of played out, and look, I just hope I've shared with all these kids that I've coached and I left something with them, and it's not me just taking. And so these kids making it for me, that fills me, makes me fulfilled.
And that's important. The media is an interesting thing, and I guess you kind of, you they don't bother you in Arkansas. They may have bothered you in Kentucky, but right now they're not bothering you
Not
in
really.
Arkansas. Okay, you probably had moments, and I remember we talked about it before we did this. John and other coaches, are mad at you. John Chaney was mad at you at one time, but
And he and I became great friends, but go ahead.
yeah, okay, and that's a good thing. But Jason Kidd, I don't know if you saw it the other night. He plays Cooper Flag at point guard. Jason Kidd played Giannis at every position because he figured, he knows the game. So the media questioned him after he scored 49 points as a point guard. He went off on the media guy. So there have been, or have there been, this is the question, have there been times when you've been pissed off at the media and you just wanted to go bang? Hey, listen, you don't know the game like I do.
I did. I'll do this. Okay. And then I did it one time in the NBA, and David Stern called me and he said, I'm going to do you a favor. I said, what's that? I'm fining you $50,000 and you're not going to say one word to me. And you know what I said to him? Yes, sir. And I got fined, and it kind of, as I do this, there are some guys that, they're out to prove themselves right, and they'll keep doing it. But at the end of the day, you know what I said, Howard? I just got to outlive them. That's all. Just
Yeah.
outlive them.
You know what? The hell with them. It's just, here's the thing. If a guy knows what he's doing and you understand that, and he's got some background and not playing the game necessarily, but in research, in background, and you get over it. If you know the guy works hard and he's doing his job.
Here's what I would say. This is a guy that never coached, never played, was in the band. All right, talking to you, and then saying he's talking down to me. And you're like, no, I'm a basketball coach. I'm trying to give you what it is. So that's why you just say whatever. You know what I say? When they come at me, you're this, you're that, you're that. I agree with you. Can we move on? How about that? I agree with you. Can we just move on?
John, you are obviously you've had a great career. It's not over yet. I can tell that you're still energized in coaching kids rather than professional players, which is better anyway because you get them to
But
listen
we're
to you.
paying them as though they're professional. But go ahead.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
coaching
still
them like they're still young kids.
Yeah, but you can bench a guy In the pros, the guy will shut it down for the season. You bench a guy now, he can't shut it down because he's worried about his next NIL money somewhere else.
True.
So you still have some control. But I can tell you have the energy. You're a hell of a coach, and I don't say that because obviously I've known you for a long time, and I hope you never lose that energy and you keep on trying to help these kids become people in society and that's really important, and not just basketball players. And I think you're going to do that, and you've done it well so far. Congratulations.
Thank you, Howard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure, John, and I will stay in touch. And there's nothing I can do about the NCAA, but maybe together we can get them to straighten this garbage out. Hey, John, have a great day and have a terrific season. And I hope you win a national championship with Arkansas.
Let's go do this.
You got it. Thanks, John. Take care. John Calipari. What a terrific, he is a terrific guy, and he's a fun guy. That's what you got to do. You got to have fun. You got to have fun. And it's just, it's interesting that he and John Chaney became friends. I might play that before we end the show today. But I do want to tell you again about important people for this show. And that's one of those is clearly our presenting sponsor, Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell. He knows his stuff. And there's so many things going on. We're not college basketball players. We're not pro basketball players. We got to look, and, those people should worry about their future too. Look at our future financially, and Jeff Stillwell can help you do that. Give him a call, 732-343-0813. All right. We have a winner. It was a big prize pack. And on our 1-year anniversary, this is the 1-year anniversary of this fine program as you're riding with the King. We have another big prize pack, and we're going to present it to you coming up. I'm going to explain all that stuff to you. And there's the dumbest question at the Super Bowl. So far, I've heard it. I don't know that anything can get any dumber. I'm going to give you that too. And it's unbelievable how stupid some media people can be with stupid questions. But let me tell you about some other partners that we have before we get to the rest of the show. Our newest sponsor, and they're still new, they're still fresh, and that would be Thomas Chevrolet, located at 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media. Thomas Chevrolet is a family-owned business, and I think you'll notice that I did before I even started to have them as partners. They were just regular people, nice people. They're not kind of coming down on you, but you got to do this and you got to get this and this car. And no. That's how they've been around for 38 years in business. Good people, provide straight deals. No need to haggle and hassle over the price of a new Corvette, Equinox. I'm driving the Equinox right now. Silverado, Traverse, or Tahoe. The Corvette is still there. People still know a Corvette, and Thomas Chevrolet is a certified Corvette specialist dealer. Here's some other things that you might, and you will notice. Up to $14,000 savings available, 0% APR available on 60 months for up to 60 months. But the other thing that's kind of different with the dealership, and terrific service department. I met a bunch of those guys, and they service all makes and models. It doesn't have to be a Chevy. All makes and models. Tops in the tri-state area. Thomas Chevy has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Let me give you the address again. I'm telling you, just stop by. I just got by 1263 West Baltimore Pike in Media, or their number, 610-566-8600. That's 610-566-8600. Or on the internet, thomaschevy.com. You can check them out today. Another really fine sponsor would be Piazza Property Pros. And you can check out this amazing design created by Piazza Property Pros. If you're thinking about adding a pool, I mean, this is what they do. This team can turn your vision into a reality. Your dream backyard starts here, and now is the time to start planning for this summer. Piazza Property Pros will bring you the experts directly to you. And they've been doing it for 25 years. They don't subcontract. They give you the vision. You see that? They give you the vision of what you can do with your backyard to build a pool. Now, you can also have some other things done there, whether it's landscaping, fencing, all kinds of great things. Trust Piazza Property Pros. They will deliver exceptional results on time, within your budget. Give them a call. Check it out. And you'll give you a free consultation. Not everybody does that. 610-566-2608. Schedule a free consultation. I'm telling you, they're not the only ones that do that. They can turn your vision into a reality, whatever it may be, pool maintenance, landscaping, fence, whatever it is. Schedule that consultation. That's 610-566-2608, or check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. Another great and fun guy in John Calipari. All right, I didn't want to play it while he was on because he's heard it. John Chaney went after John Calipari. So people on their chat have asked about it. I brought it up briefly with John. He said they're friends now. But this was when John Calipari was the head coach at the University of Massachusetts after a game that he played against Temple. Here it is.
You send your kids out there pushing and shoving. The guys did a hell of a job. You had the best officiating you could ever get here. And for you to ride them, I want to be a part of that. I just got my ass blasted for giving them hell down in West Virginia. And here you get a hell of a job right here today. Good job. 3 class guys. And you pick them out here and single them out. You can't get that together. You're the threatening guy. Shut up, goddammit. You're the threatening guy. I'm killing you. You remember that. When I see you, I'm going to kick your ass. Kick your ass. Come on. You got a good team, and you don't need that edge. That's why I was telling my kid to knock your kid in the mouth. Standing there pushing him the game.
Some things never cease to amaze me. I'm not going to say anything right now because I don't want to say the wrong thing. I think it's better that I just walk out of here. And I'm not going to talk on the television. I'm not going to talk to anybody at this point. Right?
It's kind of funny. I saw a player jump in there, Eddie Jones. I don't know how many people remember Eddie Jones, who went to the NBA, who tried to go in there and straighten things out. John Chaney was a very emotional guy. And it was funny. The fact that he went after him. Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, that's great. Hey, Pat, thank you. I see a comment for Pat. Congratulations on the 1-year anniversary. This is our 1-year anniversary show, still going strong. These conversations, and you're right, they're conversations and not interviews, are fun and entertaining. Continued success. Thanks for all you do for charity as well. So I do it. Now, the prize pack, and there's some other things. The Eagles lost a coach, and they didn't get a coach. Well, they didn't get a few coaches, but I'm going to touch on that. But I'm going to the prize pack from last week the last show from our 100th anniversary show. It was what was the first prop bet that Mark Lawrence mentioned? The first prop bet when we talked to Mark Lawrence last week, and the winner is Dennis the Bull Ruoff. Dennis, all right. So you win a couple of autographed baseballs, Mike Schmidt, Larry Boa. You win a gift certificate from Chickies and Pete's. You win a gift certificate from Maroney Custom Clothing, where I get my suits and my shirts custom made. But you can do that too. They can they do a shirt, you can do a sport coat, whatever it is. And Dennis, you answered the question. The prop bet was 21 out of, I think, 22 teams ran the ball. The prop bet was, what do they do? The first play of the second half, and it was run the football 21 out of 22 times. And that was the prop bet that he mentioned. Congratulations, Dennis the Bull Ruoff. We'll have another prize pack for our anniversary show, and I'll have a question shortly. All right. I don't know. The Super Bowl just doesn't seem to have the same luster. It's the Super Bowl, and I get all that. And but that flag football game last night, it was just wasn't real football. It was a joke. Nobody cared who won. Nobody cared. It was, just something to put on television because they're football players. It's I watched. I don't know how much you watched. I watched less than 60 seconds of that game, and I said, I've had enough. You know what today also is? Today is the 8-year anniversary, February 4th, 2018, of the Eagles' most exciting Super Bowl. All Super Bowl wins are great, no question about that. But the most exciting Super Bowl and one of the best ever, Super Bowl 52. And people remember Philly, Philly, or Philly special, as Nick Foles called it, Philly special. Let me just break the news to you. As far as Doug Peterson was concerned, that was not the biggest play. But I talked to John Calipari about media. And over the weekend, Jason Kidd, who is a Hall of Fame player, great coach, just a basketball person now with the Dallas Mavericks. And somebody questioned about where he played Cooper Flag because he switched him to point guard. Remember, he played Giannis at 5 different positions, but he played Cooper Flag at point guard. And the guy questioned him after he scored 49 points. And Jason Kidd obviously got pissed. And here is his response at his news conference just the other night when asked about putting Cooper Flag at point guard.
Coach, you get like a lot of national criticism for playing Flag at point guard. But over the last 2 games, he's been losing the ball.
The criticism, that's your opinion. You guys write that bullshit. That's not that. I've done this. I've played this game. I played it at a very high level, and I know what the fuck I'm doing. But I don't give a fuck what you guys write, because you guys have never played the game. And so I've built players, so I know what the fuck I'm doing. So to take criticism, it only makes me better. Because if I wasn't doing it right, you guys wouldn't be poking holes at what I've done. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah, I sent Jason a text. He said it's all good, but and he got fined. It's just it's they don't want you to use 4-letter words in a news conference, and they don't want you to go after media. But the media sometimes they ask questions just to ask questions, and not everybody, but a lot of them do that, and it's asinine, stupid, and foolish. Every year at the Super Bowl, there are many stupid questions, and I try to identify the most asinine, stupid, ridiculous, and foolish question at a Super Bowl. Listen to the question from Mike Vrabel. It was the first night of the news conferences, and there's too many of them because it's the same crap all the time that they say. There's nothing new to say. But the questions, if you don't have a question if you have a question that's stupid, just don't ask it. Just don't, because you want to hear yourself on some audio service where they play the news conferences. Stupid. Here it is. Listen to the question to Mike Vrabel, and he was courteous in his response, but he shouldn't have been. Go ahead.
Is this a must-win game?
A must-win? Yeah, I think every time we go out is a must-win game. I mean, it's kind of the attitude that I've always taken in the National Football.
I hope you heard the question. Is this a must-win game? What? Is this a must-win game? What are you kidding me? It's the damn Super Bowl. What a stupid ass question. All right. Eagles news today. Jeff Stoutland, who was a terrific, excellent offensive line coach, and I think he got the title of assistant head coach last year. 13 years. He had enough, and he's leaving. That's not good for the Eagles, but I'm sure they thought about it, and he probably gave him a heads up that, they were thinking, he was thinking about those things. But they're going to miss Jeff Stoutland. They will miss Jeff Stoutland. 13 years. Congratulations, Jeff, on a great job. Terrific coach, great guy. His family's great people. I've met his wife quite a few times. Very nice lady. But he's done with the Eagles. Now, another thing with the Eagles, and somebody I think had a comment up here. Frank Reich went to the Jets as their offensive coordinator. So somebody said, why didn't he come here? From what I've been told, he didn't want to come here. Now, I know he's tight with Nick Sirianni. He didn't want to come here. The upside of this team, there's only upside with the Jets. You can only get better. The Eagles, I don't know. The offensive line may not be as good. Thus, the running game won't be as good. And I've said this, that's the quarterback without a running game is going to have issues. He obviously didn't want to come here for a reason. And he did not come here, and he went to the Jets. Kind of interesting. All right, the Sixers made a trade today. And the trade was, all kinds of the player and some second-round draft picks and I don't know. I guess they got a first round, a late. It was either Oklahoma City's or Golden State's first round, whatever. They got a first round. I think they got a first round pick, but it doesn't make any difference. Jarrett McCain was traded to Oklahoma City. And I'm going to tell you, they're not going to miss him. I think some of the comments today, people disputed that a little bit. They're not going to miss Jarrett McCain. He didn't fit. He's not a short, but he doesn't have size at the guard position. So you can't play him with Maxey because Maxey doesn't have size. Jared McCain is only a shooter. He comes off the bench, but who do you play him with? Because he can't defend. And he's been hurt twice, at least twice, I think. Well, at least twice. It was I think the 21st pick in the draft. Everybody got all excited because he started hitting shots. You know how many players can hit shots? How many players can shoot now? Big friggin' deal. Big deal. I think people got a little too excited too quickly about Jared McCain. Okay, nothing special. I mean, he might be good somewhere else where he fits better, where all you need a guy for 10 minutes coming off the bench. But the 21st pick in the draft should be able to play more than 10 minutes. They will not miss him. And then there's morons, and I'll say morons, that think they can get Giannis by trading Edgecom and Paul George. Paul George, first of all, he's still got, 20-some games left of a suspension. He's a stone-cold stiff, who only plays half the games in a season. And he's still got 2 more years left on his contract at 50-some million a year. What morons. Morons. You are morons if you think the Sixers can include that in a trade and get that trade done. Sixers aren't going to get Giannis. I mean, give me a break. I don't think he's going to get traded to the offseason, but we'll see. We still have some time left before the trade deadline. So, and I'm okay with the McCain trade. It's not going to change who they are, what they are. There's too many teams that are better than they are. They're not going anywhere. They beat Golden State, which means they split the season series because Steph Curry, he didn't play in either game against the Sixers, Steph Curry. They'll lose to the Lakers on Thursday night. There's no way because they're full of themselves thinking they're really good right now. But like I said, the Sixers are 3 to 4 years away from being 3 to 4 years away from being 3 to 4 years away. All right. Today is the 8th anniversary of the Eagles Super Bowl 52. There's so many great plays. And the Philly Special is not the biggest play. When I had Doug Peterson on, we talked about the bigger plays, and that was a unique play, and it was everybody talks about it because it was a trick play and a gadget play and all that. But I want to play what Doug Peterson said, and he identifies other plays, and I agree they were bigger. Remember, that play was before halftime, Philly Special. So let's listen to a couple of comments. Here's one from Doug Peterson.
thinking back on that Super Bowl, and I get reminded all the time. My wife and I were just overseas in Hawaii for about a week and a half, and so many people would come up to me, and they were Eagles fans, and talk about the Philly special, talk about that Super Bowl, and where they were and what they were doing and all that kind of stuff. And it brings back so many great memories. And even today, when I get that little nudge to go back to that football game, I do remember a lot of those plays that were big plays. And again, not just the Philly special, but you hit on it. You hit on Corey Clement's catch in the back of the end zone for a touchdown, and then there's the 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter that extended the drive to Zach Ertz, and then of course Zach Ertz's touchdown catch late in the game to put us back up. I think of the field goal that Jake hit. He's a rookie kicker, kicked a 41, 42, 43-yard field goal at the end of that game to put us up 8. I mean, those are all big moments. Then the strip sack on Brady, with Brandon Graham, and another rookie, Derek Barnett, scoops that ball up, and just so many plays in that game that helped us win that I'm so reminded of and so appreciative of.
All right. So but he didn't identify what he thought was the biggest play. So I kind of narrowed it down, and I want to know what the biggest play was. Is there a play in that game other than the Philly special that comes, let's say, second or third, that comes to the top of your mind?
The first one that always comes to my mind, and the Philly special is always a great play, but it's that 4th and 1 that we threw that pass. We got 1 yard. We actually completed it for 2 yards. We got the 1 yard to Zach Ertz, and to me, that was more of the play of the game, because if you remember, New England went down and took the lead on the last drive. They scored. We get the ball back. We're on our end of the field with 5 minutes or so left to go in the game, and it's 4th and 1 again. And so to me, I think about that play, and that play, if we don't execute that play on 4th down, they get the ball short field. They just scored. We really haven't stopped them. They really haven't stopped us. And, they could have easily gone down and scored another touchdown, which would have put us down by 2 scores. And then who knows what happens after that. So to me, that was really more the play of the game that helped us win that football game than any other play in that.
You know what? And on that drive, Zach Ertz scored the touchdown. So today, let's celebrate, which is one of the most exciting Super Bowls ever. Super Bowl 52. Today, February 4th, as we do this show live, is the 8-year anniversary of Super Bowl 52 for the Eagles. And it was a great memory for me, and I know it was a great memory because that's the first Super Bowl win for Eagles fans. That was the best one. It was unquestionably the best one. And they're all good, but that was the best one. And today's the anniversary. And that Zach Ertz catch was big. 4th and 1 pass, and they got 2 yards. All right. We have a prize pack to give away for the 1-year anniversary show. Let's take a look at the prize pack. Here it is. Okay. And I've given these away a triple pack, a hat trick of autographs. Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, and Rick Tocchet, all important flyers in their time. That Gretzky is a Gartland figurine, and it was a big collectible, and it still is for people that love hockey. So hockey, I got you covered there with the Wayne Gretzky Gartland figurine. Also, a pair of Oakley sunglasses and a gift certificate from Maroney Custom Clothing. All right, so here's the question. There were so many questions that I could think of that John Calipari and some of the things he said, but he got fined once. He was only an NBA coach for 3 years, and he got fined in one of those 3 years for going after the media. So he went after the media one time. How much was the fine that John Calipari got by David Stern, who was a good commissioner. Now the commissioner now is just a fake. It's ridiculous. What was the fine for John Calipari? Answer that question correctly. Submit it to my website, howardeskin.com, to the contact page, and we'll have it in by midnight on this Friday, February 6th. And on Saturday on the show, we'll have Mark Lawrence on to take a look at the Super Bowl, prop bets. He'll come up with a couple of college basketball games again, and we'll do that on Saturday. So you got the question, you got the prize pack, and you got the 1-year anniversary of this show and the 8-year anniversary. How about that on the same day, the 8-year anniversary of the Eagles' first Super Bowl 52 win. A lot of good things. I see it. I don't know how many people, maybe we'll talk about it more on Saturday. Flag football game. If they never have another play in the NFL and call that the Pro Bowl, look at the guys that made, and we'll talk, like I said, more about it on Saturday. The people that made the Pro Bowl, that's going to go on their resume. Oh, they made X amount of Pro Bowls. Well, Jalen Hurts was the 5th alternate. Joe Flacco has had good career years, but not this one. He's with a couple of teams. He got selected. Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowl quarterback for the AFC. He had 7 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. The whole thing, and the flag football part of it, is a complete farce and a joke. And I see Patty H. She says the same thing. What a joke. Did anyone watch the game last night? The Pro Bowl being on Tuesday night shows how irrelevant it is now. It is irrelevant. And there were some people that probably watched it, but we'll talk more about that on Saturday. Thanks to Joe Gangemi on the other side for all the technical stuff, Tony Anastasia for all the graphics and the good stuff on the website and the postings and all those good things. And thanks to you, and thanks to my guest tonight. And that was Arkansas basketball coach John Calipari. Great coach. When you look at all the things he's done, I didn't even talk about the final. He made multiple Final Fours. And so hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Hope you liked riding with the King on this anniversary. Thanks to Stillwell Financial Services. Thanks to Thomas Chevrolet. And thanks to Piazza Property Pros for all being a part of this show on my 1-year anniversary. And you have a great week. Stay warm if you're in the Philly region. We have people from all over listening, but if you're in the Philadelphia area, stay warm because it's going to be cold for a while. Hang in there, and thanks for joining the Howard Eskin Show. Whoa. Oh, 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 yes,
the sixes to the fields, one voice cuts through, giving you the real. He broke the stories, he started the fire, lost the whole game back in 86, never retired. Heroes crown him, yeah, they call him the king. Fur coat flashing, bling bling in every ring. He's the hardest working, big talking dog. Call in with your take, but don't get it wrong. He'll call you a nitwit if you're acting a fool, but deep down you love it, that's the Eskin rule. Riding with the king, yeah, we're riding with the king. Howard Eskin Show, let the truth ring. Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, he knows the deal. Philly sports royalty, bow down and kneel. Riding with the king, put your hands in the air. From South Philly streets to the Delaware. No filter, no fear, just the facts on the mic. It's the Howard Eskin Show. Let's go get sight. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king. Hey, riding with the king. Riding with the king.